Alrighty. Hello, hello. We are back with the art book, and I'm excited because we're finally onto a new section. The Duviri section took a long time to get through with all the technical issues, so this is like the first time I'm turning to a new section in the book for in a while. Um, we have reached the end of the more story based chapters. If we if we go back uh, to look at the earlier chapters, they were they're mostly grouped in like a thematic way. So like the Tenno faction, the Grineer faction, the Cetus faction, and then it moves on to story chapters like the New War, the Zeram, and the Duviri Paradox. And so all of those have like a consistent lore about them, but we've sort of finished with all of that. So the chapters that remain, this one that we're going to go over today is called The Arsenal, and it's got a bunch of weapons and cosmetics, I think. And so it's just kind of a mishmash. It's just the stuff it's just stuff. So we'll see what there is to say about it. It is, as with everything else, a very good work in terms of art and creativity. So, we'll definitely be going over it. And then the last chapter is also all a bit of a mishmash. I think it's mostly UI art assets, stuff like that. So we might as well get started. So yeah, this is the Arsenal. Prepare yourself, Tenno. This one has this chapter is an intro from Kaz Adams, the weapons lead. The Arsenal is a unique space in Warframe. It can be a place to suit up quickly and get into the action, fielding the perfect medley of battle gear for the mission at hand, or it can reveal a broad canvas for personal expression and creativity. Many spend hours deep in thought considering the poetry of each weapon, item of clothing, pose, setting, and color choice as it plays against the rest of the palette. Sayandana's armor sets, companions, and their accessories, arc wings, even entire landing crafts are part of the menu. The centerpiece of the arsenal is the Warframe itself, but almost everything else is created by the weapons team. Rifles, swords, whips, hammers, needle-flinging tendrils, reality-defying multi-dimensional void weapons, and so much more, all the product of a small team of artists and designers working in unison to bring the Origin system to thrilling life. Welcome to the Arsenal. So Kaz, if any of you don't know, she was actually a Tennogen artist, if I'm remembering correctly. She initially did Tennogen and, submitted a bunch of... I think she also does, other, digital art, too. And then she ended up working at DE, which, I can imagine kind of sounds like a dream come true in that sort of progression, of your career, which is pretty cool. And then now she's, it seems like she's the head of the weapons team. It calls her the weapons lead here. So that's pretty cool. And then, the cover image for this chapter, I'm sure a lot of you will recognize it. This is the Vitruvian from... this is a Vitruvian image that is shown off in the Sacrifice quest, showing the Excalibur Warframe, and there's a bunch of little notations, some of which are really in small fine print in English, and technically this is also visible in the quest, but I don't think anyone pauses to read this, and it's also moving around in the quest too. Sounds like a dream come true for sure. Yeah. A lot of it's just random filler. It's just like sequences of letters and numbers. It says subject 9 here. And then there's a couple of words of Orokin text. There's only one actually that's visible here, and I forgot what this says. I'm just gonna look it up real quick. I don't think that's right. Alright, well. Anyway. Alright. So. Turning the page, we start off with. Let's see. A bunch of sketches. So these are mostly helmet designs. Alright. So for this one, I have no idea. This might be... I have no idea what this is. With these, like, big... They look like bug eyes. This thing here maybe kind of reminds me of the Stalker's mask, but it's, like, slid down over, like, the mouth area. And then these things at the backs, there's an Excalibur helmet that sort of has these, like, links that sort of hang off of the back. But, yeah, in general, I don't know what this is. This is a Mag helmet. I think this is the Gauss helmet for Mag. This is a Nyx helmet. I think it's called the Vespa. This one I don't know. This one I also don't know. These two don't really look like helmets that are in the game that I recognize. And then here we've got, I think these are all Limbo helmets. So Limbo, his helmets are all sort of hat themed. So there's like the top hat one, which is, I mean, his main one is a top hat, his base helmet, but it's a bit taller than this one. And then this, I think this is an alt helmet that's more of like almost like a bowler hat. And then these seem like concept designs. And then these other four look like other versions of like hat-based helmets that maybe eventually turned into the ones that we know. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these are all Limbos. I would say Mag Presidio, the deluxe skin, has a pretty hat-like. It's more of a helmet, but it's got like a brim like a hat. But that comes way later, so I wouldn't expect it to be. I think these are all Limbo sets, helmets. And then here, this looks like the Furax. This is sort of an eclectic page, because it's mostly helmets, but it's also got the Furax. There's a sketch of an arm here, but it's the weapon, the fist weapon is in more detail, and it says battery pack sort of on the back of the wrist, and then electro knuckles, which are, you know, the knuckles. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure the Furax doesn't deal electricity damage, and I can't remember if elemental damage was even in the game when they... There was a big... I know there was a big overhaul to elemental damage in update 10 or 11? 11? But, and there was elemental damage before then, but I think they maybe added it piecemeal. Yeah, I do remember the damage system before Damage 2.0 was real janky. Alright, and then here we have, this is the glaive, the base glaive that everyone knows. And then there's two swords here, but I think these are not, I don't think these are anything that are in the game. Because I would think they would be like dual Skana. Because like I see the base glaive and I think of other like very base weapons, but these are double-edged swords, or they're double swords. There's a blade on either end of the handle in the middle, and I don't know. Like the dark split sword is kind of like that, but again, that weapon is much later. And then here's just another generic glaive. Over here we've got other stars. I think these are more... This one looks like a glaive, but I think these are... And so do these. But I think these are throwing stars, because this is like the Hiku. This is like... Most of these don't look like anything. This sort of looks like, I mean, like a glaive, but like more curved. Sort of like the Serrata, but the Serrata's infested. And then like, this doesn't look like anything. This doesn't look like anything. This doesn't. I mean, they're really cool. This doesn't look like anything, and neither do these two. This one is cool. This one seems like an Orokin throwing star, or maybe like an Orokin glaive. I mean, the interesting thing is that like we call like this thing a glaive, and we call like the class. I think that it's called throwing melees, but generally the community just calls them all glaives, which is funny because glaives as a weapon class are completely different. They're like pole arms, you know, as they actually existed in real life. They're like the Guandao, I think is similar to a glaive. So, you know, it's like a blade at the end of a long stick or a staff. So the fact that we call these glaives has always been kind of weird to me. And I know it has to do with like the original Dark Sector, or the 2008 Dark Sector. You know, Hayden Tenno has a weapon that he calls a glaive, and that's why we call all of these glaives, but it's not what they are. This one sort of looks like 5 kunai, like, but, you know, in a star shape. You know, the kunai are like single blades. But yeah, I think these are more of the throwing star, the secondary weapons, versus the melee weapons, because this looks a lot like the kunai, or the Hiku. Some of these things I still don't know how to pronounce. And then these are more glaive-like, but also don't really resemble any glaives that we have in the game, other than like the actual glaive, this one. And then here's just a Heck, the Heck shotgun. The Heck is pretty old. It was in the game when I started playing in 2013. I'm pretty sure, and they Heck used to have it. It's always been a Grineer shotgun, and back when the bosses were just larger other units, they Heck was like, you know, a Grineer Lancer or a Butcher or something, who just had more health and carried a Heck shotgun. And so I guess the shotgun is named after him. It's never really been discussed in the lore. And then his Terraframe has like a giant Heck shotgun on it now. So here we have, these are more polished concepts of the weapons. I think this art, or maybe part of it, shows up as one or two of the Codex, the Cephalon fragments. There's like a Cephalon fragment about like weapons, and I think it uses like a subset of this image. I think it's like this over here. Sorry, my contact lenses are giving me some trouble. I'm gonna have to pause the stream really quickly and take care of that. I will be back in like 2 minutes. War Supremacy, yeah. I'm just pausing the stream. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Sorry, Marley. Yeah, I just had to... Whoops. I just had to pause the stream real quickly. It's been like a long day at work, and I'm a little bit tired, and then when I'm tired, my contact lenses stop working, which has always been funny to me. But, I'm not, like, exhausted. You know, I can do the stream. It's just, like, my eyes weren't really working. So, anyway, that's all fixed. So, yeah, back to this page. We've got weapons, of all three factions. So here we've got Tenno weapons. A lot of these are like just really old weapons that have always been in the game to some extent. And you know, a lot of as we went through, like at the very start of this book, you know, a lot of these art assets actually date back to before the game in like Dark Sector, but like the original, the old concept of Dark Sector. Is where like a lot of this, like the visual language especially comes through. And then a lot of that is due to Minky, who is DE's like original, or Warframe's original art director, who recently passed away. You know, a lot of these designs are sort of based on his work, and like from his work. I think like this specific image, these images, these are three separate images. I think these are actually his work. Heard about that contact issue? Yeah, I think it's you know, because your eyes have to like work to keep, you know, focused, and you know, when you're tired, they don't work as hard. Yeah, it's really funny. But yeah. So yeah, Tenno weapons. Here we got the bolt. Actually, I think this is an early version of the Vasto, because it's got like the flintlock thing going on over here. This is the Bolto, the Bronco. This is the Furus, but like an earlier version. The Furus has like a mag and doesn't quite have this flat part at the part at the front is not as flat. This is the Sicarus. This is like the Leto Prime. I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure the Leto Prime has this like curved handle back here. If it's not that, then it's probably the Lex. But I think this is a Leto Prime, and this is just before it became the Prime design. And then the Boar and the Latron, of course. And then we've got some Corpus weapons. These are a lot different. This one is maybe the no, not the Penta. Yeah, I think this might have to be the Penta. These are all like a little bit weird. This maybe is the Lanka or the Snipetron. And then this is maybe the Angstrom. But like as a primary, as like a rifle sized. Yeah, this is shit. I don't think this is the Penta, but I'm blanking on what this reminds me of. I think the Glaxion has this rotating barrel, but that's not. This is obviously not the Glaxion. Oh, it's Charlie. Okay. Yeah, I think Penta's like the closest. It's got let's see. They've all got I don't know about this one, but they've got the Corpus writing on them. It's been a while. I used to be able to just read this stuff off of memory, but and it's also really small. But this one definitely has the triangle logo. Pretty sure it's too small to come across, but it shows up on a lot of Corpus weapons and on a lot of Corpus stuff everywhere. This is the most recognizable Corpus symbol, and some people actually think it's the Corpus symbol, but it's a subdivision. It's Luxor Foundry Forge, which is like a subdivision of the Corpus that probably makes all of their weapons. I have a post on the Orokin Archives that talks about like the symbols, the guild symbols that you see on Corpus, text and writing and stuff like that, because the implications of them are that there's like a bunch of different subsections of the Corpus with their own like fields, but they're not really discussed in the lore. It's really just what we know from these environmental text assets, really. Detron. Maybe. Yeah, the little Corpus triangle is not the Corpus logo. It is the, it's for Luxor Foundry Forge, or Luxor Nano Composite, or Luxor Nano Foundry Forge. It is some parts of the game UI do actually use it as the Corpus symbol, but there's a different Corpus symbol. It's the triangle with two lines going through it. That is like the basic Corpus symbol. But yeah, sometimes the game will use the Luxor symbol as the Corpus symbol, and it's so ubiquitous that there's really very little difference. Anyway, this is like a fascinating topic to me, and there's a lot more I could say about this, and maybe I'll talk about this some other time. Here we've got a bunch of these 3 Corpus weapons that are maybe some versions of the weapons that we know, and then the Grineer weapons over here also a little bit different. So this is like this is like Long Sobek, and this is Long Heck. That's just it's just really wacky to me. This is the Gorgon, which is shorter than these shotguns. This is the Grikata, but a very different form. So the Grikata's got this thing at the bottom is the magazine somehow. It's like a ball attached to the end. So that's how I can tell it's the Grikata. And the color, but it looks very weird. This is like the Flux Rifle. This is like, maybe it started as a Grineer weapon. That's super weird. The Flux Rifle is obviously the Corpus laser weapon, and that's what this really reminds me of. The 3-prong gun. Oh, yeah, I was probably gonna get to this one last, because I have no clue what the fuck this is. This is like, I want to say this is like a turret or an emplacement, but it's not even that. Like, that we know. I don't think this is anything. This looks sentient to me, almost. No, not really. It's definitely Grineer, but this one is weird. It would be cool to see this. The 3-prong one. Kraken is here. Yeah, basically looking the same. This is also kind of the Grikata. This is the Viper. This is just the Viper. This one, I don't know. And then this one is super weird. Why is it like, it's like supported by wires, as if it was gonna sort of deform if it wasn't being held up by these wires, like a building. I don't know what the deal is there. That's not recognizable. This and this are the same thing. Also not clear on what they are. It's like a normal gun, but it's got like this wireframe around it for some reason. The Acrid. Maybe. The Acrid's big thing is that it's got like the big liquid. The barrel part of it is like a bunch of like liquid, like a syringe. But yeah. This looks like a flak cannon or like an anti-aircraft gun. It looks like the Kuva Grattler. Or just the normal Grattler, I guess. This looks like a Grattler. And the Grattler actually is, if I'm remembering correctly, it existed as an Arcwing weapon. It was one of the first Arcwing weapons. So definitely a lot later than a couple of years later than a lot of these other weapons, but still pretty early on in the game. If that's what this is, it might be an early version of the Grattler. Grattler Sniper, yeah. This one, I don't know. Kind of looks a bit like the Gorgon. I like these forward-pointing antenna. I don't know what that's about. And then this one is the last one on this page, and this one is ignoring this weird bulbous part on the bottom. This is the old model for the Ogress and the Torrid, neither of which look like this anymore, but they all used to look like this, and I think you can still see this, I think this image as like an icon, as like a weapon icon or an item icon, still appears in the game every now and then as like a glitch, as for like unavailable item. Like there's a mod called Ancient Retribution that's like a default broken glitch mod. Like it's every now and then you can encounter it, and it's like the default thing that shows up if it's trying to show you a mod and it breaks somehow. It'll show, it's like a 404 page. It shows you Ancient Retribution, which is a mod that has never existed. It only exists for that purpose, is to be the error mod. And the Torrid icon, no, what I'm thinking of is the placeholder. It's the placeholder. Whenever they make a new thing, whenever they make a new weapon, they put it, you see this all the time in dev streams, when they go into the arsenal and they're like, hey, we're gonna show this new weapon. If they don't have the icon yet, it's the Torrid, it's the old Torrid thing. And it says like PH, void weapon or whatever. The miter. Maybe this is the miter. Oh, maybe you're talking about this. Because the miter's got like this like square or like long rectangular part, which is like the track that the thing shoots down. So I would say this is kind of what it is, or maybe this. No, because these are barrels. These are clearly like barrels. Grineer weapons seem very patchwork like the G's themselves. Yeah. Yeah, they've definitely they were very good at making like a pretty good design language. They were like, Corpus looked like this, Grineer looked like this, Tenno looked like this, Infested looked like everything smashed together. And again, Minky was a very big part of that in the early days. And yeah, the Grineer definitely have this. Everything is, I think, I'm trying to remember what I've read about what their design language was, and like there's really old documents, and they did talk about this a little bit when we were in the Grineer chapter, but they're like, everything is like off the assembly line, but the assembly lines are real shitty, so like things aren't straight, they're like curved, because it's just like lumps of metal that get like built as fast as possible in as huge quantities as possible. They're very much like we make a ton of them real quickly, and we don't care about the quality, just the quantity. The Rafflecopter mod, the Rafflecopter mod is another sort of example of like a placeholder. It was shown off on a dev stream, I think, or maybe a couple of dev streams, when they were like, this is what the new UI is gonna look like. And like, here's what your mod setup is gonna look like, and like the mod that they put in there was just called Rafflecopter. Alright, here we've got again a mixture of weapons. So these we've got, so these are Corpus. These all look like concepts of the same thing, and these honestly look like the Flux Rifle again. Um, and then this is maybe the Spectra, or maybe the handle to a larger, the grip to a larger gun, Corpus gun. And then this is the Prova, but I think this is like before it was electrified. Because this doesn't look very, this looks like it's, well, yeah, it just looks like the Prova, really. And then these 6 are like designs for the sheath. I've seen this on on some of the weapons designers' pages. You know, if you go look at like the weapon artists, their like portfolios they have online, you know, sometimes they'll like for one weapon they'll have like 6 or 10 different designs of where it could go, and then you know the people at D are like, this one is we like this one the best. So like this is the sheath, these 6 here, and like this is the one that they ended up going with. Oops, I shook the camera a bit. But like these are other versions that it could look like, you know. This is like a Tenno dagger just thrown in really quickly. Most of this is Grineer. The rare single cleaver. This is like half of an Amphis, because the Amphis is like a dual. It's a staff that's got this on both ends, but this is like the single Amphis. Here we've got some Grineer snipers. This one maybe eventually became the Vulcar. This looks like the Vulcar actually sort of looks like a hybrid of this, but it's mostly this. This is too. I would say this is like too much. It doesn't have the weird bulbous parts to it, like this one does. This one's not Grineer looking enough. And this is the machete, of course. I don't know why they're really illustrating that there's like a link here. I don't know why they need this detail. I don't know what this circular thing is, or these guns. They look like, this one looks like it's like the Atomos is like a Grineer mining laser. That's what it's. That's what it is. Then that's what this. It looks like they were like, make a Grineer mining laser. It doesn't look anything like the Atomos, but it looks like a different, like what the Atomos could be, what a Grineer mining laser could look like. It looks like a beam weapon to me. And then yeah, I don't know what this is. Single cleaver on a chain throwing weapon. That would be cool. Like a cleaver on the end of a chain. Or, I mean, like, yeah, that's kind of what the blade and whip thing is. Because it's a blade on the end of a chain. So they should make like a blade and whip that for the Grineer one, but it's like a cleaver. And then on this page, we've got some Tenno and a couple of Corpus weapons. Actually, I've seen this Corpus lightsaber before, but I don't think it is actually a thing that we have. I've seen this artwork of it. I wonder if this became something else. And then yeah, we have some very interesting blades here. This might be the kunai. The kunai don't have this extra part at the bottom of it. This is the Hiku. These are 2 other throwing stars that we don't have. These are some interesting sort of like knife weapons. I mean, they're very interesting, but they don't really resemble anything that we have. And then this is like, what if the Ankairos were slash weapons instead of just like punching weapons, because these look like things you hold in your fists and there's just a blade around the edge. It's just like the Ankairos, but with blades. That's actually really cool. I don't know why we don't have that. The Sarpa gun. Yeah, some of these I can see sort of remind me of the Sarpa, the gun blade. And then here we've got a bunch of swords. Let's see. Here is the Skana. This is the traditional Skana. Let's see. I think this or this are the Kronos, which is just like a generic swooping blade. I think this is the Kronos, and this is maybe the Ether sword before it became Ether. I think this is the Ether sword before they give it like that glass crystal type blade. And I think this is the Kronos. This might be the Pangolin sword. I'm only saying that because I see the Jaw sword and the Plasma sword, and the Pangolin sword is also in that class of like alert weapons, but I don't remember what the Pangolin sword actually looks like. And then this is the Heat sword, and then this is I think this is the Dark Split sword. I don't know if they changed the Dark Sword model to look like this, because I mean, I know that when I used to use the Dark Sword as my main melee back in like 2013. I loved it. Back when charge attacks were a thing. I loved the Dark Sword, but and it definitely didn't look like that. But I wonder if it looks like that now, because I have not picked it up in a long time. I know the Dark Split sword kind of looks like that. Charlie says it's the Dark Sword. And then yeah, this last one, Anti-Caesar is right. This is the Skana Prime, the Fin sword, as it is sometimes. Well, I think that was also a leak or something. I think, so this is the Skana Prime. I think it looks cool, super cool. Obviously, you can't get it, much like the Leto Prime, unless you were a founder back in the day who paid for like the extra tiers. But there was like a thing where, so here it doesn't look prime, it's not gold, because this is just like the base design of it for this concept. And there was a thing where they leaked an image of like base Skana Prime, and they called it the Fin sword, and everyone was like, wait, you can get this? And then they never released it. It doesn't exist. But for a while they sort of like, I think it was an accident. I don't think they ever meant to do it, but yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, they were like, oh, the Fin sword, and it's a Skana Prime but not Prime. But yeah. Yeah, Dark Split. Okay, yeah. So this is the Dark Split sword, and then this is the unprimed Skana Prime. Right. And then here we're these are actually pretty. These some of these are like really late game weapons actually. Like they came out just a little bit ago. What the fuck? Anyway, here we have at the top is the this is the Arum Spinosa. This is a very uncommon weapon. I don't know when I've ever seen anyone use it. I actually use this on my Dante loadout for weird thematic reasons. Anyway, the Arum Spinosa is a war fan that you get from Deimos Isolation Vaults and Arcana Bounties. So, like, I don't know... the number of people who got this is probably very, very small. Unless they were, like, mastery grinding. But yeah, it launches... I wanted war fans for my Dante loadout, and it launches, I think, viral quills with its heavy attack. So I was like, oh, that's a cool war fan. And then I put a skin on it, so you can't tell that it's the Arum Spinosa. Is this the Onos? There's like, let me see. I don't use it very much. What's the other weapon that came with Dante? Morga. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking. You're right. It's the Morga. Okay. I was gonna say because Whispers on the Wall and everything that came after it, that came out after this book came out. So if this was the Onos or one of the Dante weapons, I would have been like, what the fuck? But yeah, you're right. This is the Morga. Also one that I don't use very much. I think I just got it, like a few months ago. Or, well, no, it was probably like a year ago. But it's one of like the last things that I got. And then yeah, the Rauda down here. This like, they must have put this in right before the book shipped. Because like Duviri's the last thing that is in the book. And I don't even think there's any Colorvo stuff. So yeah, we got Rauda in here. The Volnus Gara's sledgehammer. There's like no rhyme or reason to the order of things on this. This is the Falcor, the the Corpus Glaive, the Falcor. This is I don't think we have a name for this. This is the weapon that a Corpus enemy in Railjack uses. I think the name of the enemy is the Baculus? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is so the Aurochs Baculus is the enemy that carries this weapon, and it's actually really annoying because he can deflect. He's very good at deflecting projectiles with it. He'll just like wave it around and like bounce your shots away. So he's kind of harder to kill than he seems because of that. But yeah, this is a really cool weapon. I would love to get it, just because I think it looks super cool. But yeah, this is not a weapon that anyone in the game can get. Let's see, here we've got the Guandao Prime, the War, the Agrit. These are throwing weapon bombs that Call has, or he doesn't have them normally. But they came out with a Veilbreaker. This is, I think this is a skin for Gunblades, right? I don't think this is a gun. I think this is the Heartwood Gunblade skin. I think it might be part of the Titania Talons package. I just don't want to like be wrong. No, it's not that. It's the Sentient Gunblade skin. Dendrite? Oh, I think it actually was the Sentient one. I think this is the Sentient Gunblade skin. The Ravurex or whatever. Anyway, it's a Gunblade. It looks cool. This is another generic weird Corpus weapon. It's like the top half of a Dara. Yeah, a lot of the Corpus stuff is just like random square shapes until it becomes a weapon, right? This bow. I don't recognize this bow actually. Maybe this is, actually, I think this is the Proboscis Cernus. Proboscis Cernos. I don't use it very often. It's not bad. It's a good weapon. I just find it very weird. And then the shit. I'm blanking. Is this the shotgun? Is this the shit? This is one of the Incarnate weapons. I forget what it is. I think this is the shotgun, right? the shape reminds me of the Zeramin. It does. It does have a very Zeramin shape to it. Fellarx. Fellarx is the name of it. I think this is the Fellarx shotgun. But it's like, you know, it's one of the Zeramin Incarnon weapons. Alright. So nice prime weapons here. This is the... Whoa. This is like Furus Prime? This is not the version of the Furus Prime that we have. Tigris Prime. My beloved. That was... This used to be such a meta weapon. This is the single Bolto Prime, which I don't think we have. I think we just have... I think we have Ak Bolto Prime and Aphurus Prime. So, but I don't think we have the single versions of these. This is another Corpus Railjack weapon. This is like the fucking machine gun that they carry around that like spools up. Another weapon that is unobtainable. In Kairos Prime, this is the Spectra. I like how they've pulled out the triangle logo to indicate that it's on the inside of the barrel. Okay, it's a weird detail, but they went out of their way to show us this. Whoa. Oh, I know what this is. This is the... this is either the Cobra or the Crane. This is the sword part of Cobra and Crane Prime. It's got this very... I don't use it very much, but I do like it. It's because it's got this really nice, curvy sword. But yeah, this is... I guess, which part of it is... Which one is the Cobra and which is the Crane? Probably the Cobra's the sword, right? But Crane is not very shield-like. Cranes are very fragile. Anyway, but yeah, this is the the Cobra and Crane sword part Prime. What the fuck? Alright, here we've got the Mara, or sorry, the Detron. The Mara. The Detron here, the Penta here, and some random cross between the two in the middle. Cobra Sword Crane Wing. Oh, the wing. Okay. Yeah, the wing of the crane is the shield. That makes sense. I didn't think about that. I don't know why my nose just got stuffy. This is the Cycron. One of my favorite weapons is the Tenet Cycron. For sure. I think the Cycron was actually the first beam weapon. Sorry, the first battery weapon. And then they went in and added the battery mechanic to a lot of older weapons like the Flux Rifle, but I'm pretty sure the Cycron was the first one that came out like that. Burstin Prime, Tenet Envoy, briefcase form, and then these, I don't know what this is. These are like... These are like shock baton things, but we already have the Prova, so I don't... These are electrode only on the tips. This is sort of like really early on in the game. The I did not mention the Argonac. Shit, I completely forgot about that, which is weird because I love the Argonac. Yes, that's what this is, and I forgot about it completely. Come to think of it, I think some of these other Grineer guns could have eventually been the Argonac. Maybe this, that one, yeah, maybe not. This weird thing, if you take off the, or this one, maybe, but if you like take off the weird wireframe off of this and then put the circular magazine on, I could see this turning into the Argonac eventually. Anyway, yeah, these, at the beginning of the game, enemies had shock batons when you would disarm them, with, like, Loki or whatever. They would get these melee weapons that were, they all had the same one. It was like a shock baton with, like, a glowing thing at the tip of it. And nowadays the Corpus specifically get a Prova, and the Grineer specifically get a Sheev. But yeah, maybe this is what that was. Like, it's like the old melee weapon that everyone had. Corpus sticky grenades? Yeah, they look like those old grenades, like on the end of a stick. That's but like with electricity for some reason. And then this. What the fuck is this? This is like a jar. This looks like the Inaros like soul vessel for the quest, the Inaros quest. But it's in this weird mount thing. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. But it looks like a pot, like a jar, a vessel. Maybe it's a grenade. Maybe it's like a real close up of a grenade. Because I know some of the grenades that people have that they throw, you never see them because they're always like in motion. But if you go to Captura and look at some of the grenades that the enemies have, some of them look kind of funny. Entrati throwing weapon holster. I could see that. It is like It does seem to be Orokin or maybe Tenno at best. It's definitely not Corpus, or it's definitely not Grineer, and I don't think it's Corpus. It's got really nice artwork. It really reminds me of like a decorated pottery thing. All right. This is the Korum, which is Boreal's staff. Right? I'm pretty sure that's what this is. This is the actual Furus Prime. Not like this weird other concept version. Ballistica Prime, is that what this is? Is this Stradivar? Or is this the Velt? It's not Stradivar. I think this is the Velt, yeah. Archititron, Titron. And then this is a melee weapon that Grineer boarding parties carry. But it's not an obtainable weapon. It's just something that some Grineer have. This is the Spyrex, which we only have as the Tenet Spyrex. This is like the unteneted version of it. This is like the battery pack for the lens, right? Which is not on the page. The lens bow was not on the page, but I'm pretty sure it's been a long time since I used it. That the lens comes if you equip the bow, the lens bow, it puts this thing on your Warframe that's like the battery pack for it. This is the Sicarus? Maybe the Magnus? But they're really showing the shell like ejection animation, which I really think is cool when they do this in the concept art. They break down how it's gonna animate. Which is really cool. We got the Corinth here. This is I think the Catabolist. This is an infested sidearm. And then these two... This might be an early version of Larkspur, just based on the colors of it. And then this is kind of reminding me of the Fenmore, but not really. Maybe the Quellor? It's been a while since I saw that, since I used that one. The Sicarus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Sicarus. Yeah, they're just putting weapons on here with like no rhyme or reason. This is the Phage, which is like it's a very early infested shotgun, beam shotgun, but this is like a really old weapon. And then this is the Hespar, which came out with Angels of the Zeramin. This is the Sarafang, which came out even later than that. This is Varuna's axe. This is the Zymos, I think, from the Zeloid Prelate, Zeloid the Emissary boss fight. Paragale. Yes, you're right. That is the Paragale. I don't use it very much. There's so many weapons. These I used to know them all like by heart, and like I still kind of do, but it takes a long time. The top reminds me of Stephalos. I honestly don't know enough about Stephalos to say if that's what that is or not. But yes, I'm pretty sure this is the Paragale. Now that you said that. Anyway, this is the Redeemer Prime. This is the Zymos. This is I think this is Titania Deluxe's Dewata. Is that the sword? I think it's her exalted sword for her bracer wing. This is the Sindo Prime, which is another one it's a very old Prime. I think this came out with Nyx Prime. This is the Nadaruk. Compressa, Larkspur Prime, Magistar. It's an interesting concept. This is the Magistar, but this is not quite what it looks like now. This is, I'm pretty sure, the Nami from the Nami Skyla Prime. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And then here, this is the Protea Deluxe grenade launcher skin, which looks fantastic. I don't think I have this equipped on anything. I don't know the name of this specific skin. It's like Caduceus or something like that. I think it starts with a C. And this is the Compressa, if I didn't say that. This is your release gun. Sindo P came with Nyx P, yeah. Ooh, we've got some animals. So the in the middle, these are like the original concepts for Kavats. We got the feral ones, the Grenier ones, and actually I don't know if these are feral. I think these are both just the types that you can have as pets. And then here, this is like a diagram of how they compare to a Kubrow. They're basically the exact same size. They're just slimmer. That's probably for, if I had to guess, for like skeleton animation reasons. They wanted them all to be generally the same size. Of course, there's, especially for Kubrows, there's variations in how big they can get. Like, you can have ginormous Kubrows if you like get lucky with like their genetic breeding. Alright. So these are all different armor sets, and I don't know a lot of them, honestly. This one might be the Ysar for Kavats. These two are for Kubrows, and they look like prime armor sets for Kubrows, and I just don't know which ones those are. Because I don't think I have any prime Kubrow or Kavat accessories. The Feral Derelict, and the third is Tenno Domesticated. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought at first. This is the Derelict Kavat, and this is the Tenno Domesticated Kavat. But I think I was confused because you can make your Kavats look like this with skins, and that's what was confusing me. This is the Kuva armor for the Kubrows, which I actually think looks really cool. And this is the Bruja armor for Kubrows, which is from Trinity's Deluxe, the Strega Trinity Deluxe skin, which I think looks even cooler. And my Kubrows all wore this for like the longest time. Predacites, Kubrows, and Vulpophilas are Kavats. Yes, in that they use the mods. Yeah, because I think like, yeah, Predacites can use Kubrow mods, and Vulpophilas can use Kavat mods, or I might be completely off base on that. Wukong Prime accessories. Yeah. These are Grenier armor for Kubros that I think they came out with the Quats. And they're sort of based on the Quats slash Amphis, because I think Amphis is sort of in the same family as the Quats. That's a fun rifle. I remember having a lot of fun with that rifle. They should like make it a Kuva thing so I can remember how much I liked it. And I think this is like a Grineer armor for Kuvats. This is the infested charger, of course, and then this is, I think, the Euphrates armor for Kubros. Infested chargers did not used to look like this, by the way. They used to look like just normal infested chargers. The Helminth charger, sorry. The Helminth charger you get from draining your Helminth cyst and incubating a Kubro. It looks like this now. When those started, they just look like the enemy chargers, which is really funny and like kind of. I remember I was frustrated with that at the time. I was like, really, come on. And you can buy a skin that just makes them look like that now, which is funny. The whole thing with the Helminth cyst. I remember it at the time. There were a lot of people super upset about it. But like in hindsight, it's pretty funny to me because that came out with like Nidus. They released Nidus and the Glassed Gambit, and then they went on their winter vacation, like DE does after Christmas. That's what they released. They released the Glassed Gambit, which is famously one of the most unsatisfying quests. That's just like so annoying to do, and it was so much worse back then too. They've made the Glassed Gambit better over the years, and it used to be, and it was even worse on release. They released that. And they let you farm for Nidus, and they didn't mention the cyst that grows on your Warframe ever in the patch notes on dev streams, and so like a few days after the update, some people started getting these like things and freaking out about them because people were like, "Is this permanent? Am I gonna have to destroy this Warframe?" And they found out that it was like spreading by contact with Nidus. People who were playing Nidus, and like you can't really quarantine unless you just play solo. And so yeah, but like, and Deet was on vacation. They weren't answering, like, you know, they weren't talking to people, and this was not put anywhere. And then after 7 days of the update, they found out you can drain it into to create the Helminth charger, and they were like, oh, that's how you get rid of the cyst. But that doesn't permanently get rid of it. It just drains it, and then it starts growing back immediately. And so a few days after that, they started to come back again, and people were freaking out again. Eventually, they figured it out that you go back into the Helminth chair to remove it permanently. But like, this wasn't stated anywhere, and basically everyone just had to figure this out. And there was a lot of like freaking out, because it takes days for things to happen. And I think back then you couldn't remove the cyst until it was, you couldn't remove the cyst until it was fully grown. So you had to wait the whole 7 days. I don't think they changed that for a while. Nowadays, you can remove the Helminth cyst before you even see it. But you had to wait the full 7 days to drain it or to remove it, and that was a really funny debacle. I remember. Alright, Charlie, I'll see you around. Thanks for stopping by. I think I think you were able to remove it permanently. People just didn't figure it out. But that was 2016, so that's a very long time ago. In terms of Warframe. Alright, so we've got Sentinels, which I had completely forgotten about until I turned the page. Alright. We got Worm over here. And Worm and Shade were the first two Sentinels. This is confusing because they've got all their attachments on them. Remember when there was a bed in the Helminth room? Yes, the Helminth room also used to look completely different. It was a lot more laboratory-like. Nowadays, it's just infested and covered over with like flesh and stuff like that. But it used to look like a Tenno laboratory. There's actually concept art of it that calls it like the alchemy room. And Steve said that it was going to be this whole... I think he conceived of parts of what we now know as the Helminth system. Like way back in the day. Or, well, in that day, in 2016. And he was like, it's going to be a whole alchemy system. And he mentioned it on dev streams a couple of times. And then when they opened the room, it did nothing. All it did was infect you with the bug that gave you the cyst, and then let you remove the cyst, and those are the only functions of the room. And there was like a weird bed at the back, and people were like, oh, that's where our Tenno sleeps, because the personal quarters room was not open at that time. So there's no other bed or even a chair in the whole ship. Yeah. Still wonder what their plans were with that. Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, he called it the alchemy system. The concept art calls it an alchemy room. I feel like the Helminth is pretty similar to. I imagine it's kind of what Steve wanted it to be. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, the vibe of a med bay. Yeah, the chair I think was a lot more of a. I actually don't think the chair changed all that much. But the bed at the back was like a medical... It was like a weird medical bed. Not like a flat... I mean... You can like look up what it used to look like. But it was... it did seem like weirdly medical. Anyway. So the Sentinels... they have all these attachments on them, so you can't really see what the base things look like unless you like know what they look like. This is the Shade, and it's got these wing attachments. Sorry, this is the Worm. This is the Shade, and it's got these mushroom wing attachments. And then this is the Worm again, but it's now got a mask. Oh, and this also this Shade also has a tail. This is, I think, the Koltek. And then here are some of the mask attachments just sort of by themselves. You can see that this mask is on here, this mask is on here. Funny thing is, this mask, this red one, this is called the Hunhow Sentinel mask. And this was put in the game, when they added the Sentinels, they added Shade and Worm. This was mid-2013, if I remember. I remember I was playing at the time, and I was like, "Oh, these were the first Sentinels / pets / companions / anything. These were the first things that you could have follow around your Warframe, and they were like new thing is companions." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And they also released these the cosmetics for them, which I didn't buy at the time. But yeah, this one is called the Hunhow mask, and then Hunhow as a character wouldn't show up until the second dream is when he's named. He kind of shows up in the Nata quest, but he doesn't have a name at that point. But yeah, when he's named Hunhow in the second dream, which came out, I think, more than 2 years later. The second dream, I believe, was mid to end of 2015, and this came out in the middle of 2013. And it's just really funny that the name Hunhow very predates Hunhow being introduced as a character, and I can't say when DE had the idea for Hunhow as a character. The sentience were around as a concept. That's very old lore. That's it's from Excalibur's Codex entry. So that was the sentience as the concept were around, but not elaborated on, and they weren't. It wasn't known that they were robots. They were assumed to be actual aliens. This is just like very, very old, lore back in the day. Snippet about the Sentinels being somehow related to the sentience, and then having the Hunhow mask. Yeah, I think, so one of the Cephalon fragments says that, like, oh, maybe the Sentinels are sentients, but they're friendly sentients, and that's about the only lore we ever get on Sentinels, is that they're maybe sentients, but also maybe not. And I'm leaning towards yes because of the Hunhow mask. This is also, by the way, if you zoom in on the face of a Conculist or a Battlist, the main sentient fighters, where their head is sort of hard to tell. But if you're able to like pause them and capture and like sort of zoom in, this is actually what their face looks like. This is the head. You should look at the actual Hunhow mask in the game because it's slightly different from this. This is very like long. But if you look at the Hunhow Sentinel mask, and then that's very similar to the head of Conculists and Battlists, which is very small relative to the rest of their size. So you really have to like zoom in and find it. It also kind of looks like the pommel of the War Blade, the sword War. Which was a while back. It's the part at the end, the pommel, also sort of looks like the Hunhow mask. So because there's like that attachment, I'm kind of thinking I'm leaning more towards the Sentinels are sentients. But it's obviously not definitive because you can have there's Grineer and Corpus and infested Sentinel attachments as well. Sentient puppies is how I see them. Yeah, that's kind of how I see them too. They're like small and friendly and like whatever, and they're probably not going to kill us, except for that one scene in The War Within. This is the Jinn. This is the Helios, I'm pretty sure, but this is like a weird version of it. This is the Carrier, and then I don't know how many of you recognize this. This is a skin for the Carrier called the Para or the Paris. And this came out, I believe, with Hydroid, and it's meant to be a parrot, like perching on the pirate captain's shoulder. Hydroid, of course, being the pirate captain. Yeah, this is like a weird skin for the Carrier that I don't see anyone ever using. And frankly, we've got much better skins these days. I need to get the art book. Yeah, hopefully they'll keep releasing the art book at TennoCon, because I know they sold it for the 10th anniversary TennoCon 2 years ago, and then last year they were like, hey, we're bringing it back, and that's when I purchased this one. So hopefully they just do this every TennoCon, and maybe at some point they'll get to a place where they can actually just like stock it, but it is like a big. I'm sure it's an endeavor to print, so they might just have to just stay with the limited runs. That's why his deluxe got the squid skin, because he used to have a parrot. Yeah, that's again they're very old. Like this is like just super old Sentinel stuff. Helios is like by far the newest thing here. Well, actually, I'm not sure. I can't remember if the Helios or the Paraskin, which one is older, but here are the Sentinel weapons, or this is the Sentinel Prime weapons. This is Deconstructor Prime, I think. Maybe they all are. I honestly don't know. It doesn't matter because you never see the Sentinel weapons, right? Except of course for the Deconstructor Prime, which is the body parts of Helios. These are Prime attachments for Sentinels, which I don't know because I don't have them. This is the Carrier Prime. This is the Koi tail attachment for Sentinels. Oh wait, hold on. This is the Paraskin. What the fuck is this? I think this is the parrot skin for Sentinels, and it definitely looks a lot more like a parrot. But then what is this? This is a skin for Carrier, I'm pretty sure. This is bothering me. Hold on. Carrier. Okay, yeah, this is the para skin. And what is that other thing? Oh, okay, that's what it is. It is the sprite skin for the shade. That's what this thing is. See, I remembered that there was a para skin, and I didn't remember that there was a sprite skin. So I saw this, and I thought it was the Carrier skin. It doesn't look anything like a parrot, though. Yeah, so this is a shade skin. This is the skin for Carrier. Ugh. Okay. That was... Anyway. Still more Sentinel stuff. So this is the Shade Prime, which is fairly recent. I think it might be our newest Sentinel? No, Nautilus Prime, of course. But Shade Prime, Death Cube Prime. This looks like different concepts for Carrier Prime. This is the Sentient Skin for Sentinels. No text. It's just got these inserts that with detail, but it's not like additional text or anything. And then this is, well, so this is clearly concepts for the Paris skin, because this is just a parrot. And there's like other versions of it that look more or less bird-like. That's pretty funny. And then here you've got some Sentinel masks. This is the Hunhow mask. This is closer to what it looks like in-game. It's not like long and straight like this. So this is the Hunhow mask. This is the Lotus mask, and this is a different mask that I don't know the name of. And then, but yeah, this is just a bird. The on this week's dev short, someone brought up the idea of a bird companion, and Rebecca seemed to really like that idea, and it basically derailed the rest of the video. She was just like thinking about it and talking to chat about it. So maybe we'll see like an actual bird animal companion. I think that would be super cool. I believe this is the Edo Prime armor. I actually just bought this with Regal Aya from Varsia. So I've never put it on anything. I like bought it last week. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. This is the Arca armor set, which I don't think I would ever put on anything because I think it kind of looks ugly. I don't like things coming out at random angles like this. It just doesn't look good to me. So I don't think I would ever use them. I think this is the Prime armor that came with Hydroid, I think. I don't have these. Spirit Sail or Sprit Sail, possibly is the name of them. And then this is the armor that came with Titania Deluxe, the first Titania Deluxe, I think. And I think it's called Heartwood. I do use the Heartwood chest sometimes, and the feet. It took me a while to recognize this because it's not on the Warframe body. These are just like the loose parts of it, and they don't really look like anything like that. Back when they were deciding on what concept use for the next community, chosen frame the auctions were Broken, Calligrapher, and Falconer. Yeah, Falconer frame would be pretty cool. Intradi armor set is so good except for the knees. Yes, the knees, the Mulciber, I think, it has the same problem as the Arco set. It's just like a weird plate coming out at like a 45-degree angle. Like, what is that? That's it's super weird. Calligrapher is arguably Dante. Oh, that's true. That's I've never thought about that. Yeah, I just alright, we're now on the Syandanas. Let me just double check and see how much of this we've got. This is like, I think this is like a bit of a larger, we'll see. Got a half hour left, but yeah, we'll just keep going. Alright, this, I think this is the Gauss Kresnik Deluxe Skin Syandana. Another cosmetic that I don't own. But yeah, you can see this is the Gauss Kresnik skin, like it's like faded, to show you that this goes on the back of it. But yeah, also, again, this is like, because that came out with Kullervo, 7 Crimes of Kullervo. So again, this is like the last thing they put in the book before they printed it. This is the Capella Prime Syandana, I'm pretty sure. The one that came out with Banshee. Banshee Prime. I actually do have this one. And I like it. This is the Salix Syandana that came without that came with Ivara. I don't think it has these patterns on it though. It's got like these Norse patterns on it, which is interesting. Ivara is actually derived from a Viking named Ivar, who was, according to some sources, an archer. Ivar's lore is very weird, and we have a bunch of conflicting accounts. But yeah, that's where Ivara got her name from, and so I'm not surprised to see Viking-ish designs, but I'm pretty sure those aren't actually on the real Syandana. Gauss Deluxe, is that recent? Yes, Gauss Kresnik, I am like 99% sure is from 7 Crimes of Kullervo update. This I think is a Syandana, but I don't oh, never mind, it's right here. So this is the Celestia Syandana, which is the one you get for Conclave, and it lights up like it lights up like this. I believe if you do the Conclave tasks, Conclave gives you like weekly tasks or daily tasks, and if you do them, it lights up for like the week, and then when the week resets, it goes back to 0. I think that's how it says. That's how it works. Obviously, I don't have it because I'm not max rank with the Conclave. But how it what it says here is neutral, 3 kills, 6 kills, 9 kills, 12 kills. I don't think it works like that, but maybe it does in the middle of a match. I could be wrong. And this is what it looks. This is what it looks like when it's not lit up. Apparently. Again, I have no idea. I once saw an image someone posted to Reddit where they had like 5 or more of these like in their inventory. They had several Celestia Syandanas, and which is just indicative of too much time spent in Conclave. Because it's like 100. I think it's like 100 or 120,000 standing to buy, and you have to be max rank with them in order to buy it. You have to get to max rank and then spend 100,000 standing. And to have multiple of them for 0 reason is just nuts. This is the Uru Prime Syandana. I think this is my favorite Prime Syandana. Came out with Necros Prime, and I basically put this on every Prime Warframe for maybe like 3 or 4 years. Let's see. This is... I recognize this. This is a Prime Sugatra. This is a Sugatra. It's a little the little dangly thing that goes on your weapon. And I think this is from a Prime Access, but I don't know which. This is another Sugatra from Saren's Orphid Deluxe Skin. Um, this is the Magor Sayandana, I think. Looks terrible. I would never wear this. And then this is the... I think this is the Sigma series Sayandana. I could be wrong, but that's what I think this is. Huh. Interesting. So this is the Lucra Sayandana, and here's at the bottom it says Nef themed Sayandana. Obviously, it's Nef Anyo. It's very similar to his beard, because it's got the scrolling corpus text. I should actually translate this. I have no idea what it says, in game or right here. I wonder if I want to translate it in game. I also want to translate this to see if it says the same things, because that's interesting. But then over here it says Aled themed Sayandana, and we don't have this. We do have the what's it called? The Opulus robe, which is also very Aled themed. But we don't have this. So that's interesting to me. Also, this is like English text, but written in as if it were corpus. It's like a corpus font for English, and I also really like that. That's also really cool. I imagine it stocks. Yeah, I mean I think it's deliberately supposed to look like a stock ticker, but these days the corpus have a bunch of scrolling text. Especially since the Deadlock Protocol update where they revamped the corpus ships. There's like a lot of scrolling text on their random stuff. Like the statues of Parvos, or like his face, they just say like power, profit, growth, or something like that. And it just scrolls continuously. And the ships in Railjack, they like have these holographic banners that also say meaningless things. I have those written down somewhere, what those say. I always love translating the Orokin and the Corpus and the Grineer text, because it gives you a lot of insight. Or not a lot, but it adds to it. Especially a lot of the Grineer stuff, it's like disobedience is death. All hail the queens, stuff like that. Which just sort of reinforces their whole vibe. But they have a bunch of different text assets, and then they just reuse them all. So sometimes they don't really make a lot of sense. But I do want to do something at some point where I go over the text assets and what they say, and like what we can sort of learn from that. And I already sort of did. I kind of did that with the corpus symbols, because you have to read through a lot of corpus text in order to get the information about what the symbols mean. But yeah. Translating the Halvanian text has been really fun. Yeah, I haven't personally done a lot of that, but I know that there's just like absolute tons of Halvanian text. I think way more than what they certainly way more than they put. How do I say this? When they make an update and they put in new text assets, it's much less than all of the Halvanian text they've added in this one update. I don't know how to more succinctly say that, but it might possibly be more text, like unique text, than all of the other text that we have for any one faction. Because it's like a lot that I've seen. Like on the vending machines and the movie posters and stuff like that. Like there's like a lot of Halvanian text, and like the graffiti, and then I think it's been years and years and years since they've added new text assets for like the Corpus or Grineer. Anyway, I don't know what sign down this is. Moving on. This is the Boloket and Quaro Sugatras. I'm pretty sure. I have no idea why I remember these. But these are Sugatras. They just dangle off of melee weapons. The Koro is actually one of my favorite ones to put on. A lot of times I don't like putting on Sugatras because a lot of times they just mess up the whole look of the weapon and they sort of clash. But the Koro is, which is the Corpus one. It's fairly simple enough that a lot of times it's not too bad. So these are arc wings. This is the Amesha, which is like the support arc wing. This is... Huh? This is like an arc wing crossbow. Do we have one of those? I mean, you know, yet another part of the arsenal that I know very little about off the top of my head. Fluctus. Nah, I don't think it's a Fluctus. I mean, I guess it could be. Yeah, other than Fluctus, I don't know what the heck this is. This, I've seen this. I'm pretty sure this is also not a melee weapon that exists, but yeah. Yeah, so this, I think they've even showed this off on dev streams, but it's never been made into the game. It's just like a giant... It's like, look, this is like bigger than the actual Warframe. This is very funny. Just a giant boomerang blade thing. These are labeled rockets, so these must be just like different models of rocket. Another type of thing that you usually don't see because they're very small and moving very fast. This is the Odonata Prime. And then these things on the bottom are from... I've seen this. This is from there's a very large picture out there by Kaz Adams, I'm pretty sure. That is like for a modular arcwing system, which is a thing they talked about a while ago. Modular arc wings are a thing that they talked about a while ago as being able to like mix and match, and I guess I don't know what the point of that would be. I guess to have like the powers to be swapped around. Possibly that turned into the helmet system for Warframes, but obviously modular arc wings never really went anywhere. And I'm pretty sure that they've said that they've shelved that whole concept because it would have taken a lot of effort, and nobody goes into Arcwing. And then they also came out with Railjack, which does use Arcwing, but not as like a focal point. So no one cares about like Arcwing gameplay. They just use it to get to and from the Railjack. So they were like, you know, it's a lot of effort and there's not a lot of enthusiasm for it, and yeah, so they just shelved it. But they have this idea where you can, you know, move around the Arcwing parts. This was in the wake of the other modular systems like the kit guns, Zaws, and MOAs. They were like, hey, why don't we do modular Arcwings, and then we'll take all your existing Arcwings, break them apart, and, like, you know, rearrange them. But that is an old idea that's not going anywhere anymore. Anyway, I don't know what this is. This looks like concept for another Prime Arcwing. This is the Odonata Prime, as I said. This kind of looks like it's a different Prime Arcwing, and honestly, I really like it. And I mean, I would like another Prime Arcwing. They don't need to make new ones. They could just prime the ones we already have. Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think there's much of a appetite for new Arcwings or for new Necromechs. They've said they're not gonna make new Necromechs for basically the same reason. There's like not a ton of design space. The whole point of it is it replaces your Warframe, and the game is called Warframe. But yeah. This is an arc gun. I think this is actually... Well, this clip is like from the Phaedra. The Phaedra is like the big Soma, the arc gun Soma. And it's got the giant curved clip magazine. So, but this is like much shorter. The Phaedra has a very long barrel because it's a long rifle. I'm rejoicing about the necromechs. I hate leveling them. Yes, I leveled my Bone Widow on Fortuna when they sorry, I'm blanking for some reason. When you go to a Corpus base and then you like set the you try to take it over and make it your temporary base of operations, you get like waves and waves of enemies coming at you, including XMS. It sets the alert level to the max, and you have to like mobile defense it for like 2 minutes. And that was like the best way I could figure out to get a bunch of high-level enemies to like come at you when you're in a necromech. And so I would just do that. I would just capture bases over and over again. And that's how I leveled up my Bone Widow. Because yeah, there's like, you can only put them on the open worlds. You didn't have Railjack back then. Nowadays I would, nowadays there's places you can, level it. I think I leveled my Mandinel, not my necromech, but like just the Mandinel on my necromech in Conjunction Survival. Because you can randomly use your necromech there. And then the Bone Widow I leveled up during Operation Orphic's Venom. So I just got lucky on that one. Yeah, leveling up necromechs is pretty tough. Yeah. They should remove the ability to buy more necromech slots. They should, actually. Like, there's you have multiple necromechs and you form them different ways. You're like, but I need to have build diversity. RIP when the Omniforma comes out. I maxed my Void Rig getting the Ambassador blueprint. You know what? I think I had already maxed it out, but I did farm Ambassador by the blueprint solely in Void Rig defense turret mode. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. That was an annoying farm. Alright, we've got some helmets. We're back to the helmets, I guess. This is maybe a Rhino helmet? Huh, I'm not sure. These are Excalibur helmets, obviously, but, just, like, taking the long horn on the front, just, like, making it longer and longer. It's dripping blood, and I don't know if that's, like, Excalibur's own blood because it's too high, or if he's, like, stabbed someone with it. That's... I don't know. The second to last Excalibur helmet. The last three. Yeah, there's our... I mean, I think there's a fine line between goofy and cool. Certainly these first two are, like, not. They're just real weird. Chroma on the top left. Is it Chroma? I guess it could be Chroma. These three are obviously Rhino. I couldn't tell you what exactly they are. This is a Loki. I think this is the Knave. I used this for a while until I got Loki's deluxe skin. I do love Loki's deluxe skin. These are some real weird MAGA ones. Especially this one. Because this one looks like the eye is like... I know it's not an eye, but like the circle is just like popping out of the helmet. And then it's got... The floaty bits are cool, but that is just really weird. I don't like that. This is the Nyx Vespa helmet, which we already saw. This is the Kara Valkyr helmet. which has got like cord ponytail. This is the Mesa, I think, Ovis helmet. This one's always been weird to me. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the rest of Mesa at all. I don't know why she has this one. That's very interesting. So this is Rhino, Loki, Excalibur, Volt. Those all make sense, and these are all their standard helmets. Except this. This is clearly not Excalibur's default helmet, or any Excalibur helmet. This is Nyx's default helmet. But yeah, people who are familiar with the history might know that Nyx is female Excalibur. I mean, if you look at base Nyx and base Excalibur, they're basically exactly the same, except Nyx has got a more female body type, and the helmet and the colors are different. But there was this original thing where they were going to make male and female versions of every Warframe, and then they very quickly decided that just means twice as much effort for them for arguably little payoff. So they stopped doing that. But there is like Nyx is the female Excalibur, and I think the other remnant of this is there's like a design for a female Ash. Like Ash has got the long ponytail, and I think that's because Ash was originally actually just a female frame. But yeah, so this is interesting because this maybe sort of implies that, I mean, Excalibur famously does have like this horn on the front. It's not this long, but maybe that's because this actually was his original helmet, and then they pared all of this down to just a little tiny horn, and then they gave the helmet to Nyx. I honestly don't know if that's true or not, but it's interesting, because this is clearly Nyx's default helmet, but it's in Excalibur's colors, and it's literally labeled Excalibur. So that's very cool to see. Here we've got Trinity helmets. Is this what? Wukong? No, this is Ash, right? This maybe looks like Wukong, but I feel like these are Ash. These are Saren. This is Wukong, by the way. This is the Saren Warframe. You can tell from the shoulders, like the feather boa shoulders, that this is Saren. I don't think any of these helmets even remotely resemble anything Saren has. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think any of these are Saren. These are Volt helmets. This one is cool. It's got, well, I don't know about cool. It's got like a it's got like a thing hanging from like the back of his head. It's interesting, I'll say that. This is the Loxley helmet for Avara that makes her look like Robin Hood. I haven't used this in a very long time. I wonder if I should throw that on to see how that looks with my Avara. The Crucis Harrow helmet. Very, very cool. Pretty sure this is another Mesa helmet, but this is the one that they gave her, like, if I'm remembering right, they added this helmet just really randomly years after they released Mesa. Let's see. This is the Excalibur helmet I was talking about a long time ago, with like the rings on the back. This is the helmet I used for my Excalibur for a while until I got Umbra. Zephyr. Oh, speaking of Umbra, I don't actually. These two, they sort of look like burned or damaged skin, and so at first I was like, oh, these are the Umbra. This is the Umbra helmet, but no, they just look like that. If these aren't Excalibur, I have no idea what they're supposed to be. Um, Mag, Bobbin. I don't know what these are. Pendragon and Proto Armor goes crazy on the Loki. Is this Pendragon? Pendragon is, I'm pretty sure, an Excalibur helmet. I just don't remember what it looks like. This is Mirage. This is Loki, right? I think this is a Nova. Isn't this a Tenogen Nova? Banshee. These are Ash, I'm pretty sure. And then I recognize these two, but I can't remember which Warframe that is. Excal Pendragon? Okay. Alright, moving on to some deluxe skins, yeah. Well, I guess not. This is just Baruch. This is just normal Baruch. Different versions of his helmet and his sword. This is Proto Volt. Volt's first deluxe skin. He has like what, like 3 now? All his yeah. Excalibur's vanilla helmets are named after Arthurian legend. That's true. Actually, I wonder where Mordred is the one where like the face is like wide, right? I don't actually see that one. Any of these. This is like spiky Excalibur. I mean, it's just Excalibur, but it's like kind of. But yeah, this is the Proto Volt skin. I also used to use this phone for a while. This is the Nova Deluxe. This is just Wukong by himself. This is... What is this? This kind of looks like a different deluxe skin for Volt, but I don't know. Yeah, this one, I'm not sure. This is the Sentient skin for Limbo. Really don't know why they did that. Like, there doesn't seem to be much of a link between Limbo and the Sentients. But, yep, Sentient skin for Limbo. Chroma Dragon skin. Nyx Pasithia, I think. Which I do really like. Let's see. We're coming up on the 2 hours, but I think we'll just go a little bit long. There's not much to discuss with these, I guess. You know, they're mostly, you know, it's just like Warframe. I think the rest of these are all just deluxe skins, or yeah, yep, that's what. Yeah, these are just all the deluxe skins. So, so I'll just keep going through, and then they shouldn't be, you know, it shouldn't be too much. Limbo Deluxe looks cool. I mean, I guess. I mean, look, everything, you know, looks cool to somebody, I think. Oh, wow. Huh. So this is, this is Ember's, deluxe skin, the one that makes her look like a chicken. This is... You know what? I don't think they would have done this. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anyone remembers, but Ember had a deluxe skin in the works for a while. That looked really cool. And there's still art for this if you go look around, but it's like a white and purple and black skin with like orange highlights, obviously. And then there was like some disagreement between the artist and DE, and like the artist literally like left, and the skin got canned. And then we ended up with the chicken skin. This kind of looks similar to it. It's very much not it, but I don't know what the heck else this is supposed to be. This one standing next to Ember. It might be some version of that. Yeah, the black and white one. It might be some weird version of that old Ember skin, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think they would ever have that see the light of day. But, I don't know. This is the Garuda Hinsa skin. This is Mesa, right? I don't recognize this deluxe skin. Yeah, this isn't Mesa, because it's got the thing on the elbows. It's just the stance is reminding me of Mesa. But I don't recognize this skin at all. This is Saren Orphid. What the heck? This is Vauban. What is the name of his deluxe skin? It's the Steampunk Vauban. What is this? It's not... I do not know what this is. This looks really cool, actually. But what is it? And I still don't know what this is either. I still kind of think this is Volt, but... This looks really cool. What the fuck is this? It looks kind of like Necros. Yeah, I agree, it kind of looks like Necros. And Necros did have a deluxe skin that came out with the Ember Chicken. I don't know the actual name of the Ember skin. I'm just gonna keep calling it that. But Necros, I think Urkala is the Necros skin that came out, but it doesn't look nearly as cool as this. This is Trinity Strega, which I really liked for a long time. Rhino Palpatine, Banshee Soprana. This skin, I tried to make this look better, but it really shows its age, honestly. This Banshee skin. Woof. Oberon Fayark, my beloved, of course. Frost Harka, also pretty top tier. Frost Harka. This is Ash Koga, I think it is called. It looks good. It's okay. Magnuma, also really love. This is, man, this page is honestly like, these are some of, in my opinion, these are some of the best deluxe skins that they ever had. Ember Vermilion, that's why it's called that. The chicken is called Ember Vermilion. But yeah, honestly, this page is some of my favorite deluxe skins ever. Oberon Fayark, Frost Harka, Magnuma, Trinity Strega, and I like these three decently. Hell is this? What is this? This is like some deep sea diver shit. I don't even know what Warframe this is. This looks like an old timey diving suit. I don't know. Just the lenses and the hoses and cables. What is this? I wish every image here in this book had like a caption. What I would really want is for it to have like a whole paragraph of notes. But well, actually, there's some notes here. That's really funny. I want like, but a caption would be nice, just so I can be like, what is this? This is Hildren Einherry, I think. Her deluxe skin. Custom Balefire Charger is what it says, and then this says, when shield depletes, the energy shells will turn off, revealing a weaker structure. Yeah, Hildren does have, when it shields depletes. Huh. I haven't messed around with this deluxe skin a lot. I don't know if she actually loses these energy bits when she loses her shields. That would be interesting if that's true. I know that the normal Hildren has this thing where, like, when she does her custom dodge animations, she gets these like energy shields on her shoulders that show up like for the duration of the dodge. They don't actually do anything, which I think is super cool. But I don't know if the notes say that these energy glowing parts on her deluxe skin deactivate when she loses her shields, and I would be interested to see if that's the case. I could go test this in like a few minutes, but let's see. Octavia Maestra, I think is the name of this one. This looks like alright, I would say. Titania Donon, I think. We're getting into some of the ones that I didn't buy. I actually do think I think I have this. I just don't use Titania all that much. Korra Deluxe. We're into the Liger in Inuzuka section. I think literally the rest of these are all Liger designs. Liger does really great work, but he does have like a certain theme. Like they're very busy designs, and that is that you know, that's cool in some ways and can be annoying in some other ways. Also, I think it's really cool how he presents the concepts like he's, I don't know, they're like movie posters. He's got like I don't really know how to say this, but they're like being presented. They're not. It's not just like a page of concept drawings. It's like, oh, here's a whole like presentation about it. And if you go to his art station, a lot of times he'll actually type up like a lot of like, I don't know, backstory or just his thoughts and stuff like that. Yeah. Definitely, I can definitely see why DE has like had a long-standing relationship with Liger. For me, Liger is very hit or miss. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the designs, I think they are all beautiful, but it's like, how much do they speak to me, and how easy would they be to customize? Yeah, it's just yeah. But yeah, so this is Korra, and is this what the Venari looks like? I can't remember if I have this Korra skin or not. The Pulchritude Sayandana, and this looks like the Doorclave, actually. I know, yeah. And then this is the 10th anniversary Dex operator / drifter suit, which again looks very nice, but I kind of, for me personally, I don't want my, you know, operator and drifter to be like super ostentatious, especially in like quest cutscenes, because it's like, I've seen some playthroughs of like quests where they're in this specific outfit with like the flowers and like the weird sharp edges to the uniform, which is like weird, right, as clothing, and it's almost like pulls you out of the cutscenes, because you're just like, okay, but that's like kind of a silly thing you're wearing. All right, Zephyr Harrier. I like actively dislike this design. I know a lot of people really like it, including Anti-Caesar apparently. But for me, this was like the first time I've seen people say this at other times, and I was like, nah, what are you talking about? This is the first time I saw something and I was like, this is not Warframe's art direction. This is like literally a different thing. With Skuldra fits drops, I'll retire Drifter Harrier. Yeah, well yeah, now that we have like 1999 and like the like the emo drifter stuff, which I love. My drifter is absolutely you know, wearing that. but this is like less of of a complaint I have now that we've already gone there. But like when this first released, I was like, come on, this is like absolutely not worth it. I think the fact that it's got English text printed on it is like my biggest thing, because the English alphabet doesn't exist in like the lore of Warframe as far as we know. All of the factions use different alphabets, and we don't see text assets with like words like this, right? Other than what UI is necessary for like you, the player who lives in 2024, 2025, to read and interact with it. But like it's got like English text printed on it, and I was just like, this is just like not part of Warframe. I don't know. I didn't like go on a rant. This is literally the first time I'm having this rant, but I've been thinking this since I saw this. I mainly like the operator outfit. Yeah, I don't think the operator outfit is here. It's just not on this, because this is just the Warframe things. This is the Hydroid Rakam, I think is what it is. I do like the Hydroid skin. I also like, because it's got the Burangara overcoat, which is an accessory slot, and I feel like that has sort of. This is super subjective. I could be wrong, but I feel like the overcoat on Hydroid Deluxe's actually has contributed to an acceleration in using that accessory slot for more and more things, which I think is cool because it's just an additional layer of customization, and they're shipping more skins and outfits with like this auxiliary slot. The slot itself is actually very old. It's Valkyr is actually, if I recall correctly, the first Warframe that had an auxiliary attachment for the cables that come out from her wrists. The Valkyr bonds, and I mean that's very, very, very old. Basically the start of the game. Update 11 is when Valkyr showed up. So the auxiliary slot has been there, but it's been like 2 or 3 Warframes that could ever use it, and now there's a whole bunch of them. Well, every Warframe can because of the Austaris headgear, the rabbit ears. Every Warframe can put that on there. But yeah, Hydra Deluxe, this like overcoat specifically, you can take it on or put it on, take it off or put it on as an auxiliary attachment, and I thought that was cool. I liked the overall skin of Hydra Deluxe. I didn't mean to be like reviewing each of these cosmetics, but there's nothing else I can say. We're basically done with this section. The largest Liger miss for me is Sevagoth. See which Sevagoth? Because Liger has been involved in every aspect of Sevagoth. The original design, the Deluxe, and the Prime. Liger made them all. I feel like he is jealously guarding it. I just imagine they're like, oh, we want to give this to someone else. He's like, no. I'm sure that's not how it works, but it's very funny to me that that literally everything Sevagoth related is made by Liger. The Deluxe, yeah, that's what I assumed you were talking about, because that is probably the weakest of them. I think it's definitely extremely interesting. But yeah, who knows? Nidus Deluxe. This one is like, honestly, this is like the definition of hit or miss for me, because I like a lot of elements and I am so on some other elements. I'm generally in favor of this Nidus Deluxe. What is this called? Freike? It's from a Greek thing. Yeah, that's what it is. Worst part of Sevagoth is that noble animation set and not having the shadow. That is weird. But yeah, I like the Sevagoth, or sorry, the Nidus skin with like the extra set of arms. I think I saw someone put like the void angel sign on it that gives you more arms, and then I think there's like one other thing you can do to get like another set of arms, which is just very funny. But yeah, I overall I'm a good fan of this Nidus Deluxe skin. I definitely it was like it let it be cosplay as like Nidus Prime before Nidus Prime, you know. And then Excalibur Zato, also one that I'm pretty okay with. Sword and Sheath. Does Excalibur Zato actually have a sword skin? No, there's a Nikana skin that comes with it, isn't there? I think there's a Nikana skin that comes with Excalibur Zato. Huh. Kuberdon skull. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So the skull on his shoulder is specifically labeled as a Kuberdon. Yeah, I like Excalibur Zato. There's a lot going on, and I think the lore of it is like he's a worldly traveler, and so like it's like eclectic in the sense that it's full of like a bunch of different items that he's picked up as he goes from here to there. Which I think is just cool overall. Alright, that's the end of that. Alright, Excalibur Zato is the last. Excal is the only exalted weapon user you can't put the skin on separately. Does that have its own... Does Excalibur Zato have its own exalted blade skin? Isn't exalted blade just like the beam of energy? I didn't even know there were skins for it. That was cool, but the coloring isn't my favorite. Yeah, I think I remember that being the case. The pipe is funny. I actually use... I think I use the Zato animation on Inaros Prime. Because I'm like, yeah, that's... It kind of goes. Inaros Prime's animation... Or Inaros's animations are like kind of funky, I think. Zato has an exalted blade skin. You can't use it separately from the skin itself. No. That sounds like a thing that, like, if you bugged DE about it, they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll just enable that. Because they're, I know for, like, what's, for the iron, for the Rhino heirloom, they made it so that, like, you can switch around, like, the Rhino skin, the iron skin effects, as long as you own the skin that makes the effect, you can mix and match them. So, I feel like you should be able to be doing that with other things. Although I guess exalted weapons are sort of their own category of abilities. But, you know. Alright, so that was it. We only went like 15 minutes over, so that's great. We did the arsenal. So now there's only one more section, and it's, I think, the shortest one. So the next one, the next art book stream will be pretty short. This section is, yeah, like I said, it's art assets. Whoa. I've never seen these before. It's art. It's like art that shows up for glyphs and stuff like that. So, and Prex cards and stuff. So it's a short section, and then we'll cover that on the next stream, and then that'll be the end of the book. So you can put deluxe skins on the other exalteds. Excal's just left out for some reason. Oh, that's even weirder. Yeah. Alright. So that's it for this stream, and then like I said, we've got one more, and then there'll be a final one where I sort of go over my favorite parts from like a lore perspective of the art book. But yeah, we're coming to a close on the whole art book streams, so yeah. I'll see you guys around.